This is a continuation of the video that I made earlier regarding my correspondence with psychiatrist Gerard Butler and Brent Spiner regarding Brent's one-night sex, if he had sex with Loree. To Gerard Butler, August the 10th, 2011, more possible insight on Brent's night with Loree. Of course, we are not sure how accurate hypnosis is, but going on what you've told me so far, I strongly suspect that Brent may have had passionate sex with Loree that one night, and I don't believe he's had any sex with her after that. Let me tell you why. Loree has been able to maintain her public relationship with Brent for years, in spite of the fact that it is a very unhealthy and artificial relationship. She obviously had a powerful weapon in her hands, so he must have gone to bed with her. Try to imagine this. You fall in love with a woman long distance, myself, who you feel is your dream woman, a woman that you may never ever find again in your life. So Brent's in love with me and dreaming about me and totally in dreamland about me. And he did make two music albums for me. I'm just injecting this. Dreamland and Old Yellow Eyes is back. So Brent's been enamored with me for a long time. I believe this describes accurately his feelings for me over the years. The Jesuits are aware of this because of their mind-reading technology. They know a love this strong requires serious measures. They come up with a drug that enables them to direct brain cell conversations. Brent has a very strong sex drive, something that he's feeling very guilty over right now, by the way. I can sense this in our brain-to-brain loving. He's reprimanding himself for his strong sex drive. He's telling himself that if he was wiser, this incident with Loree would not have happened. He's telling himself that if his sex drive wasn't so strong, this incident with Loree would not have happened. Okay, so he adores me and knows he wants to marry me, and the Jesuits drug him out with this rape drug that apparently lowered his inhibitions. How did they do it? This is important to help Brent resolve the guilt. Could he have prevented it? Or was this something that could have happened to the most intelligent and moral man out there? Jesuits are very clever. Find out what drug they used and what it does. Find out if this drug could be used to lower inhibitions or to help Jesuits to direct brain cell conversations. This is important to help Brent resolve the guilt. Okay, back to that night. So he's drugged out. We need to know just how drugged out he was. He remembers the woman was a blonde, obviously Loree. You would think that since he knew the woman was a blonde, that he was aware that the woman was not me. That's why we need to know what drug they used and what it can do. Loree was a very beautiful woman physically. I think she's lost much of her looks now, which, by the way, is not good, if Brent really went to bed with Loree. It plays on the Jesuit angle, that Brent is a man not to be trusted who can't control his sex drive, and this plays on the guilt he's felt over this one-night stand with Loree, and he's repressed this guilt he's felt over that one-night stand because I mean too much to him and he can't deal with it. Brent is actually a very noble guy with a lot of male chivalry. It would kill him for the world to perceive him as a one-night stand guy who betrayed the woman he adores, myself, because of a one-night stand with Loree. That's why I don't want to publish the fact that he may have had passionate sex with Loree until I get more information. Unfortunately, Loree's made it that I've had to publish this. He may have been overcome with lust when Loree entered his room that night. However, you say that he claims he made passionate love to her. This indicates to me that as he went through the sexual motions with her, that he was deceived or confused somehow. And somehow Loree became me in his mind. You may say, but she's a blonde. He had to know it wasn't you. This is where we have to know what this drug can do that they drugged him with and what Jesuits can do with their brain control technology. Now the aftermath. Loree has her weapon, her passionate sex with Brent. She tells Brent that he made love to her and now he must honor it, that if he doesn't, she will go public about it. She uses this as the weapon to maintain her public relationship with him. The effects of the drug wear off, and Brent comes back to lucidness. As soon as his brain calculates what may have happened, he goes into shock. He's betrayed the woman he would die for. That's me. He can't handle it. He tells himself that he didn't have sex with Loree, that it didn't happen. Apparently he was overcome by lust, entranced by the spell that physically beautiful Loree put on him, and this goes against everything that Brent cares about, so he can't deal with it. It's totally contrary to his self-concept. I'm a little aware of the male psychology. Men are stimulated by sight. Loree was a beautiful woman and obviously naked when she came into Brent's room. I'm certain that if he wasn't on this drug, he would have handled how she excited him more appropriately. I really would like to know when this happened. The reason why is because my relationship with Brent was different at different times. If this happened in 1992, it would put a different perspective on it than if it happened in 2001. Brent has admitted to me that he gets turned on by naked women. I mean, what normal guy wouldn't be turned on? I tell him this is no big deal. Just release all that pent-up sexual energy into me. A fleeting attraction is not a sin. A sight stimulation by a nude woman is not a sin. What's killing Brent is that when Loree entered the room and he had an erection, he feels he did not handle it appropriately. And he didn't. But here's the clincher. Just how aware was he of what was really happening? Was he confused in his mind over who this woman was? Did the Jesuits use the drug to cause this woman to somehow become me in his mind? Was he about to have a wild sexual fantasy with me when she just happened along, so that he was ready to burst into sexual ecstasy with any physically attractive woman just to satisfy what he'd been thinking about with me? If this happened in 1992, I had turned Brent down for sex and he was bursting with desire for me, and there was no brain-to-brain loving at this time. So Brent had no sexual release with me. Believe me, I know, because when he talked to me, I sensed a ton of emotion. Brent Spiner worshipped the ground I walk on. The Jesuits may have played on this to make him more vulnerable with Loree. So she happened along, and he threw all he wanted to do with me into her. Then he woke up and realized what he did and wanted to kill himself. I'm his dream woman, and now he could lose me forever. Loree threatened to go public about his one-night stand with her unless he gave her public girlfriend status. For this reason, he's tried to remain very quiet about his private life over the years, and has capitulated to Loree to keep her quiet. That one-night stand so devastated him that he almost wanted to commit suicide when he realized what he had done. It so overwhelmed him emotionally that he has repressed what happened. He can't deal with it. But now it's all out into the open. He's forced to deal with it. I'm the woman of his heart. That one-night stand with Loree was just what it was. A night when Brent became overcome by lustful passion, and perhaps he may have thought when he made love to Loree that she somehow became me. The other possibility is that the drug totally lowered all his inhibitions so that he acted on a sexual excitement that he normally would have the prudence to handle more appropriately. He can't marry Loree because he realizes that she and him have absolutely nothing in common that would be a basis for a happy and healthy marriage, that all this woman offered him was a body, and a treacherous body at that, and that the woman he's bonded with and who he feels true oneness with is me. I really believe that if Brent was not drugged out, that night with Loree would not have happened. Loree is claiming that the drug was not that strong and that that night would have happened. Do a computer memory read on him to determine which woman he's been dreaming about for the past 20 years. This is a very vulnerable area, but we need to know to help Brent in his court case with Loree. So he had a one-night stand with Loree. Apparently this happened and he was drugged out. The next big question is, over the past 20 years, what woman has occupied his dreams? Go into memory analysis. Like I said, I am aware that Brent gets turned on by physically attractive women. He's admitted this to me. That one-night stand with Loree is especially hard on him because Loree has tried to kill me, and Brent feels like he's not only betrayed me sexually, but that he's part of a murder plot against the woman he feels he'd die for. This is really hard on him for this reason. So he's really racked with guilt over this incident with Loree. To be turned on is not a sin. To act inappropriately by that turn-on is the problem. So while he paraded around with Loree in public as her boyfriend, What woman did he dream about in his bed? We need to get this out into the open. It would make him feel better to get this out. If you can give me evidence that he has dreamed about me over the years, I will make it public. Brent can't, because he fears if he does, that he may threaten my life, but I can do it, and it would do wonders for his mental health. I would also like to make public the effects of that drug that Loree used to rape Brent, but I may not, depending on what we find. I probably will make it public. I believe he probably did penetrate Loree on that awful night, because why else would she have so much power over him that for almost 18 years he couldn't get rid of her, even though he dreamed about me the whole time? We need to let the world know that he did dream about me the whole time. Give me the evidence and I'll make it public. This will help Brent out. It will make him feel that he's made up to me all the suffering that he feels he's caused me by this one-night stand with Loree. I'm past blaming Brent for this. I've already dealt with this. But it's obvious that he hasn't, and he's dealing with it now. I really would like to make public the evidence that I am the woman he's dreamed about for the past 20 years. This will help him out. Thanks, Gerard. And then I wrote Brent. Dear Brent, this is August the 10th, 2011. I want you to read what I just sent to Gerard Butler. I love you, Brent. I've already dealt with the fact that you may have had sex with Loree that one night, but apparently you're dealing with it now. And then here's another letter that I wrote to Brent on August the 10th, 2011. Because Loree has created another video, I have to respond to her. I will be reading all my recent correspondence with you and Gerard on this video. Regarding the alto voice that I heard in 1993, I do believe that was an angry Loree, who obviously lowers her voice when she goes into a tirade. The voice that I heard on Loree's latest YouTube video does sound like the voice of the woman who called me and screamed at me on the phone in 1993, "Hey bitch, what the fuck are you doing to my boyfriend?" The voice was very raspy, which indicates that it may not have been in its normal voice range. So sorry you have to go through all this. There's nothing worse than a rape being brought out into public view and all your wounds being exposed before the world. Your devoted wife, Gail Cord Schuler.